Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, Justices of the Supreme Court, my name is KIOKO Kilukumi, and I appear for the first respondent. Our team leader has asked me to deal with the issue raised by Mr. George Oraro, Senior Counsel, in regard to the affidavits filed by Joseph Kinyua and Kennedy Keara. This court did direct that the first respondent is at liberty to come and place the facts he has before this court, not through affidavits, but we've been given the permission to place the facts because time was running and the court directed we have that time. The first respondent wishes to place it on record that under Article 240 of the Kenya Constitution, there is established a National Security Council. And he is, by virtue of being the substantive deputy president, is entitled to sit in that council. He says, in the last 5 years, the council has not sat and discussed anything to do with elections. He further says that matters of election are vested in an independent body, and that independent body is the IEBC. That is the body that has the constitutional mandate to deal with elections. He further says, during that period of 5 years, the Council has not asked the National Security Advisory Committee to deal with IEBC on any matter relating to elections. And he takes the position that the visit by members of the National Security Advisory Committee to IEBC at the Tallying Center was an interference with the functions of IEBC. And it was calculated, given the membership who was sent there, it was designed and calculated to intimidate the chair of the IEBC and to seek to influence the outcome of the election. We ask the court to note that these affidavits were provoked by what Mr. Chebukati said in his affidavit sworn on the 26th of August, 2022. From paragraphs 55 to paragraph 75, he has given a subheading and he calls it an attempt to subvert the will of the people. And we invite the court to consider those paragraphs and to see which party is telling you the truth. We wish to refer you specifically to paragraph 66 in that affidavit. And it is an important averment, an important deposition in that affidavit. He says, Mr. Chebukati, when he was at the National Tallying Center, members of the National Security Advisory Committee visited him, and he sat with them after 2 p.m. It is important to contextualize the time. We are talking of the 15th of August, Bomas of Kenya. There is a meeting, and this meeting is attended by all the commissioners. All the 7 commissioners are there. The fact of that meeting is not disputed, or the affidavits filed regarding that matter make critical admissions. The first admission is that indeed Joseph Kinyua telephoned Chebukati and told him, I'm sending my members to you. That's an admission. The second admission is that all the commissioners, and these are the affidavits from Mr. Joseph Kinyua and Mr. Kenneth Kiara, all the commissioners were present. It is past 2 p.m. It doesn't say how long this meeting took. The country had been put on notice. By the members of business made it very clear the suggestion from the Security Committee is reasonable and we should actually accommodate it. We should think of doing it. The 3 commissioners, and all of them have sworn affidavit attesting to that. The 3 commissioners said, nothing doing. We will declare these elections in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya, and we will declare the legitimate results. And so we ask the court, you do not have the advantage of witnesses being cross-examined, but you have the ability to look at all the accounts and see which account is more probable. The meeting starts past 2. Elections were to be declared at 3. At 4 p.m., the 4 commissioners are in the Serena Hotel. Our TV screens has been split. One side says 4 commissioners are disowning the results. The other screen is showing us chaos in Bomas, attack on the chair of IEBC, attack on the 2 other commissioners. Do you believe, will this court believe, that members of the National Security Advisory Committee was going to discuss matters of security when in less than 1 hour, 2 hours, the electoral commissioners are being assaulted, and this is being broadcast live? Assaulted, a cognizable offense. Police are in Bomas of Kenya. Nobody's arrested, and the people who are doing these attacks are well known. So we ask you to consider that fact in trying to see which account is likely to be true. The commissioners at Serena Hotel opened by saying, we've conducted a very good election. It's only gone bad towards the end. You will ask yourselves, does somebody disown results which he doesn't know? Do you believe these commissioners did not know what the outcome has been? We submit they knew the result, and that is why they were disowning it. We also ask the court to consider these 4 commissioners, apart from the press they did on 15th of September, they again did it on 16th, the following day, 16th of August. Was it a coincidence that again our TV screens were split into 2? You see the 4 commissioners, and you see the first petitioner, and they are speaking, the language they are talking, the words they're using are strikingly similar. Is it a coincidence? These are matters we invite the court to consider in trying to ask itself, which account do we believe? I urge this court to believe the account given by the 3 commissioners. The will of the people was just about to be subverted. And it was The attempt was unsuccessful because the three commissioners stood by their oath of office and faithfully executed what was expected of them by the Constitution of Kenya. This split between the commission, the court has asked posed questions. When did it happen? Once you look at the affidavit of Chebukati and the timing at past 2, they are in a meeting. And by 4, they are in Serena Hotel. You will come to the inescapable conclusion that the division in IEBC was caused by the National Security and Advisory Committee. And indeed, they hijacked the 4. That is why the 4 would approach this court for the very first time in the history of this country, approach the court to seek nullification of an election that they superintended and that they said they conducted a very good election. We ask the court to take into account that there appears to have been a mistaken impression that presidential elections are determined by commissioners. Anybody who wants to become the president of Kenya must have in his corner the Kenyan electorate. And that voter who turns up in the polling station, not the one who stays away. And if you convince that voter who turns out and you get the majority of votes, you become the president. 7 commissioners cannot make you the president. 4 commissioners cannot make you the president. Who makes the decision as to who becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya? It is our humble submission. It is not the commission. It is not any of the commissioners. It is the electorate. It is the people of Kenya. And therefore, this narrative that we are the majority, we needed to sit down and make a decision, that decision as to who becomes the president of Kenya does not lie with the commission. Theirs is to midwife the process, and that is all they can do. We wish to submit that the first respondent won these elections fair and square. You've had the submissions and the evidence that has been presented by the midwife, IEBC. And they have made it absolutely clear that this election was conducted in accordance with the Constitution. It was computed in accordance with the Constitution. And they have a very clear winner as to who obtained the highest number of votes and made all the requirements required by Article 138(4). For that reason, we ask this court to consider that this petition is the consolidated petition are founded, they are all anchored on fiction. They are all anchored in forgeries. They are anchored in fraud. That clearly tells you these petitions are built on sinking sand, and for that reason, they must fail. I wish to ask the court amply to reflect on the ruling of King Solomon. Just like King Solomon before you, you have 2 gentlemen here, each one claiming a baby. The baby they are claiming is the outcome of the 2022 election petition. During the days of Solomon, there was no DNA, and therefore he could not easily make up a decision as to whose baby is this. Today, you don't have mothers competing for this baby. You have two gentlemen, each one of them claiming the baby. What does the petitioner ask you to do? Just like the days of Solomon is telling you, give me the baby is mine. And then he goes on to tell you, if you cannot give me the baby, slice it into two. We can call this baby Victoria. We can call this baby Victor. But the more gender-neutral term, let's call this baby Victory. Baby Victory has a clear DNA. Baby Victory, his DNA is captured in the original Forms 34A. His DNA is captured also in Forms 34B. That baby belongs to Honorable William Samoei Ruto. Give him his baby. Don't divide the baby. The petitioner here is telling you, you either give me the baby or cut the baby into two. Nullify the election. Solomon used that in this year to know who was the true mother of this child, because no mother would want her baby chopped into two. And so by the petitioner coming to tell you here, if you don't give me the baby, slice the baby into two, you already know whose baby the victory of 2022 presidential election is. I urge the court to give the baby to the legitimate and lawful father, who is Honorable William Samoei Ruto. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Justices of the Supreme Court, I wanted to yield the floor to my senior, friend Gatia, Senior Counsel. Thank you.